Dad always said the woods behind our house were alive in their own way. He worked for the Forest Service, studying animals most people never saw: wolves, elk, sometimes even cougars. He'd leave early in the morning with his backpack and his cameras and come home smelling like dirt and pine sap. I liked when he let me help clean the camera traps. I'd sit on the porch with the memory cards and look through the pictures: deer walking past, raccoons sniffing the lens, sometimes the blur of something moving too fast to see. Once, I told him one of the pictures looked like a person. He told me it was just a trick of the light. But he said it too quickly, without really looking. He used to tell me stories about the animals, how they had secret paths and how the forest had rules even people didn't know. But last month, he stopped telling stories. He stopped sleeping too. I'd hear him walking around the kitchen late at night, whispering numbers to himself, like coordinates. One morning, I woke up and he was gone. His truck was still outside, keys on the table. There was only his field notebook, open on the last page. It said, "Northern Ridge. Hollow ground." Mom told me not to worry, that maybe he'd gone to check one of the cameras. But when she called his office, they said he hadn't been assigned to that area in weeks. She cried that night, and I pretended not to hear. 2 days later, I went looking for him. I told Mom I was going to the creek with my sketchbook. She didn't notice. I took his old flashlight and followed the trail he always used. The forest was quiet that day. Not the kind of quiet where you can hear birds or bugs. This was heavy, like the air was holding something. I found one of Dad's orange flags tied to a tree, then another farther up the hill. Each one pointed toward the ridge. After a while, I started to see bones. Little ones at first, rabbit, maybe, scattered under the ferns. Then bigger ones. Elk, I think. They weren't just lying around. They were arranged, almost like someone had built things out of them. A leg bone standing upright, a skull turned upside down. It looked like a game someone had played and then forgotten to finish. I almost turned back, but then I saw something shiny on the ground. It was Dad's flashlight, half buried in the dirt. Next to it was his notebook, open and wet from the rain. The last words were smeared, but I could still read part of it: not hunting. Watching. Learns the shape. That's when I heard it, a sound like dry branches rubbing together. Not close, but not far either. I turned the flashlight on, but the beam flickered weakly. The forest looked different in that light, the trees too tall, the ground too uneven, like the world was stretched. Something moved ahead of me. I thought it was Dad at first, but the shape was wrong. It was too thin, too tall, and it didn't walk right. The light caught on something white, bone, maybe, and then it was gone. I ran until my legs hurt. I didn't stop until I saw the creek again, the one near our backyard. But when I got home, Mom wasn't there. The front door was open, the lights on, and the kitchen smelled like dirt, the same smell Dad used to bring back from the forest. I called for her, but no one answered. Then I heard footsteps upstairs. Slow ones. I went up, and in the hallway, I saw the shape of someone standing by my room. It looked like Dad. He was wearing the same jacket, the same boots. But his face was wrong. It wasn't shadows exactly, but it wasn't skin either. Like the light couldn't touch him right. He turned toward me, and his head tilted the way animals do when they don't understand what they're looking at. I said his name, but he didn't answer. He just raised one hand and pointed toward the window, toward the forest. When he left, I didn't follow. I hid in the bathroom until morning. They found Mom 3 days later, near the tree line. She was fine, just confused. Said she'd been walking in circles, looking for me. She doesn't remember anything else. People came with uniforms and trucks, said they'd search for Dad. They didn't find him. They said he probably got lost, or maybe a bear got him. But bears don't leave bones in circles. Sometimes, at night, I still hear footsteps outside. They're slow, careful, like someone trying not to scare me. That I saw him again last week, standing at the edge of the forest. The sun was behind him, but his shadow didn't fall the right way. It bent toward the trees instead of away from them. That he doesn't come close anymore. Just watches. I think he wants me to follow him back. Maybe I will, because lately, when I look in the mirror, the light doesn't touch me right either.
Like, comment, and subscribe. The Room 13 still has many doors left to open.